guys, here's a Vivian. So do you guys remember back at the CES when I at Aula's booth and they say they're gonna have this newest magnet switch came out? So boom, I got their WIN60, and for this keyboard,
prices as low as $39.99.
So let's get our hands on. Let's check together. Okay, so this one is the HE Max. The first is the manual and a little flyer. Switch puller and keycap holder. Type-C cable. 2 of the extra switches. The keyboard itself. Okay guys, so just look at the keyboard itself. The one I'm holding it, this one is the $39.99 one, and that one is the HE series. The HE series only have the one color, which is black. This one is called the HE Max, and this color in this form is $59.99, and it got another color which I didn't get, unfortunately. That one is $69.99. This one is $59.99. So they do have all of the color difference, and just by the outside it's pretty simple design, and just like all the other artifact keyboard, they do still keep the ribbon style on it. Pretty simple looking kind of keyboard, no other color, just black, and the case for the keyboard is plastic, and also do have 4 of the rubber feet on the back. And both the HE and the HE Max are only one-way connection, which is the Type-C, to keep up the 8,000 polling rate, which just makes sense. I don't know if you guys can see, but on the side, the keycaps, the profile is cherry, pretty standard, and do have a certain different degrees for the type comforts. And also have got little logo right here, and pretty simple. So now let's take a look. This one is the HE Max, also same with the ribbon on it. And the color that I want, the one that I got is the gray with the yellow and darker gray. Also plastic for the case, 4 of the rubber feet you got, and also one-way connection to keep up the 8,000 polling rate. So pretty simple looking for a E-series, but for the price, I think this one is pretty enough. And that's pretty much it. Just kidding guys, there's also a big difference between the switches, and that's the most main difference between those 2 keyboards, still not sticking more. Okay, so for both of the 60 per keyboard, this one is the HE Max, which is a little higher class one, and this one is the E version, and both of them are 61 keys. And the biggest difference is their switches. So okay, so let's take a look at the $39.99 one, which is the HE. And that's their keycaps, sort of kind of thin. And that's the HE Max, and it's pretty thick, double shot, the comparison. I think that just by the keycaps, it's pretty straightforward. The HE Max one definitely have a better keycaps, thicker material as well. And now take a look at their switches. So $39.99 one, so this is called a gray wood magnet switch. It is also a artifact switch. The aggregation force is about 32, bottom force is about 50, and it's by Loooooooooooooog as well. So pretty simple color. And this one is the HE Max. This one is called WIN60 magnet switch. It is also magnet artifact switch. Aggregation force is about 36, so a little heavier than the Great Wood one. Bottom force is about 49, and it's also by Loooooooooooog. So the biggest difference between those 2 switches, not only the aggregation force, also the currency is also one of the biggest difference. This one is 0.02 millimeters, and this one is 0.04 millimeters. So pretty straightforward difference. But they are both made by Loooooooooooog. Okay, and also for their RGB is south facing, and it's compatible with other magnet switch, I believe, too. So the best way to test out a magnet switch is through their software. With WIN60 for $39.99 would have surprised us. Well, let's check their software together. Okay guys, so we are now at the Aula's product page for WIN60 HE series. So it has all the basic information, the price and the keyboard layouts and all that. So how you find their online software, yes, so they do have online software, which is really nice. I think it's great to have it online as an option, so you don't have to actually download a software, and just scroll down, pop the first thing right here. At first I couldn't find it, because I know they always put it like somewhere on the side, but then they actually put it on the beginning of right here, and you just need to click. So whatever that you own, you just need to click to the one that you have. So I'm actually connecting my WIN60 GE Max, which is right here. So I'm gonna click to it. Okay guys, so once you connect your keyboard to the computer, and then it will have this pop-up window that says connect to your device. You just select the one that you connect to, which is the WIN60 GE Max for me. And then once you get it to it, boom, it's pretty straightforward. So the first thing I had, instead of like other software, the first thing will be like the layout, I believe. But for Aula online software, they actually have the light setting as their first, I would say, welcome page. So which is right here, and they have all the different mode. So a lot of different ones, and it just reflect right on the keyboard right away, which I can see it on my keyboard. And then I also have this music rhythm software, which is you have to download a specific music rhythm software to actually use it for the music lighting. I didn't even get the chance to try, but yeah, maybe for another video I should try for their music rhythm software. That seems interesting. But so yeah, everything is pretty straightforward. The only thing is that all the names for the lightning is in Chinese, so that's a little rough. Even though I'm in like an English mode, it still has all the Chinese to it. So yeah, that's one of the downside for the online software. And then back to the performance setting, and that's where the part is the magnet switch. Okay guys, so now the second part is the performance setting. That's where you can set for your magnet switches, and they have this 4 of the section. And the first normal travel settings, they have 2 of the small sections, and for each of the section they do have this small or like a very short explanation of what it is. So for the global travel, it says set the global trigger travel non-single key triggered and RT trigger keys that takes effect. The travel will not be displayed on the key. And the OG setting for the keys is 2mm. And also I suggest you guys to open up the travel test. So that's where you can see how the switches actually are functioning. Actually, I'm actually using the Q key, and like when I just press it very lightly, when it's 1mm, it's not functioning. Once I hit the 2, and that's where it functions. And that's what the global travel is, because I didn't even select any of the keys to set a different travel. So the whole keyboard is 2mm. And for the single key travels, it's pretty simple. So it's like select a key and you can set, so the explanation is set the single key trigger strokes, the green strokes volumes displays in the upper left corner of the key set. So if I put the Q, it says, let me put it as 3. I'm actually pressing the Q right now, and when I pass 2, it doesn't function. Once I hit 3, it functions. So single keys travel just basically where the keys that you have change the travel that has a different travels than all the other keys. So first of all, I set the Q as a 3, and when I test the Q, functions when it passes the 3 travels. But when I press W, I'm pressing W right now, so it functions right after 2mm, which is the global travel is. So that one's also pretty simple. And for the paid trigger settings, this small section have 3 sets. So first one is the first trigger stroke select button takes effect. So set the first trigger travels, then the green travel volume is displayed as set in the upper left corner of the button. So what it says displayed as set in the upper left corner of the button. If I put W and set it 2.6, it displays on the top of the keys. And that's what I mean by it displays set in the upper left corner of the button. And for the dynamic trigger travels press, so set the RT trigger travel, the blue travel volume displayed in the lower left corner of the button is set. So what it means is, so now it's set in the 0.3, and it actually displays on the bottom right here, lower left corner. So it's this one. Oh yeah, the only one downside is when my mouse, I'm not even click to it, when my mouse just hover on the top of the keys, they do have like a very simple short description of what the keys are setting for right now. So but they all put it in Chinese. So if you don't know this language, then this little, I think this is really nice, but they only have it in one language, which I don't know why, and that's one downside to it. Is that it has all the basic info about, for example, for the W, we set the first trigger stroke as 2.6, and dynamic trigger as a 0.3, and the reset travel is 0.3. And when your mouse is hover on that keys, it actually says everything. But all the keys that I did not set for things doesn't say that, but they have it in only Chinese, which is kind of sad. And that's what you said, the dead band. So for other software, they said dead zone, which makes sense, pretty simple. The dead zone, there we go. So for the dead zone, they says dead band setting in the top section. So the dead zone is a global setting to prevent miscontact or broken contact. You are advised to set the dead zone to 0.2 millimeters. So the 0.2 is the OG setting, and also the polling rate is where you can set it right here. And the OG setting is 8K. When I switch to 125, switch return with second people and reconnect to 1.2. Okay, so you just need to reconnect if you want to set the polling rate. So I'm not gonna cancel on that because I don't want to jump the pages between it. But you guys can set it for that. And the last part is for the keyboard adjusting. And they have this real-time travel little dynamic right here, basic infos. And you can just start adjusting, which I'm not gonna try right now. You guys can play with it when it's on your end. Okay guys, so for the third part of the online software for Aula WIN60 HE Max is the custom keys, and it's pretty simple. They've got everything layout right here. So from Windows to Mac for different layers, usually layer 0 and layer 1 has already set for certain uses, but you can set for layer 2 and layer 3 set it as your own. So either office mode or like a gaming mode to whatever that you need to. And from the letter to mouse, there's many of the options that you can set for the keys. And you can restore it right here. And how to rebuild it is to drag the lower keys to upper key to modify to release. Very simple explanation. So I'm just not gonna have a test right here. This one is pretty simple and straightforward. And for the advanced keys is, for example, if I click Q, they have this little windows that popped out to set. So select the advanced keys type to blind the key to. For each of the shortcuts, they have the explanation on the back. So straightforward. You can set whatever that you need to, and you can test the keys right here. So far, I haven't set any advanced keys for this keyboard. And now we have popped into the micro management. And for this part is to record your micros. Like I've shown you guys so many ways you can record at micros when you need to shooting people. And for the games, there's like you have to press certain keys to finish the, for example, the big killing scenes for the games. Then you can record it and use your micro to do it. It's a little cheat, but that's you know, you can do it that way. Okay, and for the updates, I noticed right here for the updates, unlike other apps that's just like, oh, we need to update a new like firmware or whatever such a things, they just ask you to update it. So that's everything, guys. That's everything about Aula's online software. There still need to be working on some like the translation for the Chinese and English, and other than that, it's pretty straightforward. And for the parts that need to be explained more, they also have pretty well explained of everything. And it just it might look a little rough, but on the other hand, you don't have to download so many software to fill in your space for your computer. So which is pretty nice. If you still have questions about the software, you can always leave the comments below. That's everything about the software. Okay guys, so after reviewing Aula WIN60, what do you guys think?
I cannot complain.
Because $39.99 is a steal. Like this thing for a hard effect switch is only $39.99. If you think it's too cheap, you can go for $59.99 or even $69.99. But please give a chance to a Aula WIN60 just for its price. So until next time, hands down, eyes down. Let's keep playing. Also, I'm gonna review their WIN68. So mark in my next video.